Hello, Sonder fam. My name is Bailey Grady. I live in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I'm your facilitator for the evening. I have been a member of Silk and Sonder since March of 2020, which means this is my third Sonderversary. If you are new to this community, welcome. In addition to these beautiful journals each month, you have also gained an extended community full of some of the most genuine and supportive people around. And if you're a longtime Sonderer like me, welcome back. You already know just how special the journals are and all of the magic hidden here within our community. Tonight, we're going to be putting pen to paper and getting these March journals ready for the month ahead. So before we get started, make sure you have your March edition. If it hasn't come yet, that's okay. I know a lot of folks were still kind of running behind with February being a shorter month and some weather and things preventing shipping. So if that's you, don't panic. Just grab any notebook or a few pieces of paper to take notes on, and then you can transfer your thoughts when the journal arrives. So be sure you've got that pen, paper, favorite markers, colored pencils, stickers to write with, a cozy beverage, and just get ready to carve out some me time. You will be connecting with each other in the chat this evening, so be sure you have your responses set to everyone so we can all see what you have to share. There's a little blue box, or should be, just above where you type, and you'll want to make sure it says everyone. Sometimes it defaults to host and panelist. And while my wonderful stage manager, Jennifer, and I would love to see what you're sharing, we want everybody to see what you're sharing as well. So be sure that you have that set up correctly. Also, chat can move very fast. Don't feel pressured by it. You can participate in chat as much or as little as you want. If you need to scroll up to stop the chat, you can do that. It's always participate at your comfort here. So we would also love to see how you spend your social this evening. If you take any photos during or after the event of you doing your setup, we'd love for you to either share them in the Sonder Club app, or you can tag us on Instagram or TikTok at Silk and Sonder or hashtag Sonder Social. So here's our look at the agenda for this evening. So for each of these sections, I'll be giving you some guidance around ways you might complete your pages, and then putting on some music so you can take time to tackle them. We'll be completing an opening activity together to get our reflective juices flowing, completing our February and reflections on page 8, setting up our March intentions on page 9, and setting up the mood and habit trackers on page 10 and 11. And of course, learning tips and tricks from each other while sharing in the chat, and then closing out our time together. So before we jump in, I'd like to start out this time tonight by sharing some thoughts around our new theme of gratitude. So as Meha mentions in her opening letter on page 12 about gratitude, if you're ever skeptical, I'm here to remind you that gratitude has been proven to strengthen the immune system, relieve stress and anxiety, improve sleep quality, and more. In fact, studies have confirmed it is physiologically impossible to feel gratitude and stress at the exact same moment. Today, I write out what I'm grateful for in my gratitude log. Sometimes it's simple, such as sunshine, birds chirping, or having a roof over my head. Other times it's specific to a conversation I had with a loved one, or an event I attended, or a breakthrough in the business. The best part about gratitude is that you get to choose, and there's no right or wrong. I love each monthly theme we get to focus on with Silk and Sonder, because the ones I don't connect with instantly always teach me something or grow something within me. But this theme of gratitude and the exceptional power and possibility it carries, alongside the fact that this is my 4th March journal with Silk and Sonder, is very special to me. I found Silk and Sonder at a time in my life when I was deeply struggling with anxiety. I'm going to try to not get emotional, guys. It was impacting my day-to-day life. And the best I thought I could hope for was to learn to live with it. And after starting therapy, I hope that maybe by subscribing to these journals, it would give me a place to organize my life and do the much needed work on my mental health and self-care that was being thrust upon me. And years later, I could not have imagined being in the place that I am now, where I'm experiencing less anxiety and feeling more just like me. I am beyond thankful for the impact that these journals have had on me and my journey. It's absolutely immeasurable. So I truly am filled to the absolute brim with gratitude this month, and am over the moon at the opportunity to reflect on all that has changed for me in these last 3 years. So Whatever journey you're on or reason you've decided to incorporate these journals into your life, I am so grateful that you're here. And I'm so excited at all the opportunity and possibilities before you. I hope that you will take the invitation this month to engage with gratitude, whether this is new for you or something you do regularly. There's always more to explore and to take from this type of practice. And again, as Meha said, the best part about gratitude is that you get to choose and there's no right or wrong. So all you need to do is engage with it and see what magic it unfolds in your life. And because this is such a wonderful, diverse, rich theme, and we are so grateful for this community and your extended communities beyond Sonder Club, we actually have a 30-day gratitude challenge that is starting. Some of you may or may not have gotten an email about it today. And Jennifer's going to pop in the link to that for you all to sign up in the chat. If you'd like to, you'll get an email for the next 30 days that's going to have some prompts for mindfulness and kind of like daily ritual-esque, but it's going to be available even outside of Sonder Club. So please feel free to share in gratitude with your extended community as well. We'd love to bring them along on the journey of this theme this month. So now that we've talked a little bit about our theme, tonight is really all about clearing time in our journey to really focus deep and set up what we want out of the next 30 days. So to get those reflective juices flowing, we're going to complete an opening activity together. So tonight's opening activity is around this theme of gratitude. And what I'd like you to do is either flip to a blank space or a blank page in your journal. If you're somebody that uses all of the blank pages and spaces, that's okay. If you just want to grab a scrap piece of paper, that is fine as well. But what I'd like you to do is to think of a recent event. If you were with us last month, our theme was passion. So maybe that sparked something for you, and you could think back on that if you want to tie the two together. But draw a frame, and inside the frame, draw the situation as you recall it. You can use stickers, you can use images, words, whatever you'd like. And then outside of the frame, write the things that you're grateful for about the event. If it was a difficult event, that's okay. Did anything come from it? What did you learn? So as an example, here is mine. So a few weeks ago, I went back to yoga for the first time in I truly think it's been like 7 years. And it's something that I've always really enjoyed. But until I was in that first class, which I had so much nervousness about going into, I just didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would like the instructor. I've kind of had issues in the past with just not having the right fit. So I was super nervous. And until I was in that first class, I didn't really realize how much I needed it. I could feel it in my body, that, movement, and how good it was for me, and just the overall mindfulness. The instructor was amazing. She does a little reading after every class. And it made me a little emotional there on the mat, actually. It just was something that I truly didn't know that I had been missing so much. So this is me on my little yoga mat in Shavasana. And I am grateful in this moment for my body, the flexibility I do still have, myself, for challenges, the instructor, for sweat, for therapy, my breath, my strength, my community, yoga in general as a practice, independence, my ability to walk into that class alone by myself and go for it, the opportunity to attend the class, just the drive to continue to go after my goals, growth, stillness, and the awesome music that she was playing. So we're going to give you all a few minutes to draw your own frame and write out your own things that you're grateful for in that moment. And then we'll come back together and we will start getting our monthly setup done. right. Thank you all so much for taking a few minutes to engage with this. If you're not done, that's okay. If you'll just put a pin in it for now, you can always come back later. And if nothing came to you as a moment in this time, that's okay too. You're always welcome as we go through tonight to take screenshots or pictures and come back to things later. A few things I saw in the chat. So Kimberly shared that last month they got to volunteer at their son's kindergarten class and teach them about Monet and do a 20-minute art project with them. And it was so fun to see the young minds learning, enjoying art, getting back to their teaching/creative side. And then Suzanne shared that they actually picked when they had COVID back in January. So many people were supportive in so many ways that they didn't expect, and they're completely recovered. And it's all thanks to everyone who helped in one way or another. So thank you all so much for sharing. We are now going to get started with this March monthly setup. So we are going to start with our February reflections, which is on page 8 of the journal. And again, if you don't have your journal yet, that's okay. Just take some notes on another journal or a spare piece of paper. And when it comes in, you can transfer everything over. So on these reflections, we're going to be focusing on wins, things that went well for the month, bright spots, challenges, things that maybe didn't go so well, our favorite moments, and then what would you like to start, stop, and continue. So my reflections are here in the center. I usually tend to take them pretty literally, focusing in on the actual wins and challenges. But if you'd like to, you may want to focus in on last month's theme and kind of lean under that lens of passion. But regardless of what you decide to do here, as we begin engaging with the journals, a reminder, this journal is yours and yours alone. It isn't for anyone else. Write freely, be honest, and interpret things however they speak to you. There is no right or wrong way to do any of this. There's only your way, and that's the only way that matters. This is a space for you to be authentically you, no matter how messy or structured that might be. So use it to be yourself and create this space between our two themes as we move into our new space of gratitude. So I will give you a few minutes so that you can work on yours. Just to call out a few things on mine here to maybe get some juices flowing. I had some really good progress over in therapy this month. But outside of that, February was actually really tough for me. Me personally was a pretty good month, but it seems like everybody around me in my life was kind of having some struggles this month. Which definitely brought on some stress for me. But I did still find some favorite moments, 2 warm, sunny days, my cousin's birthday, getting to go to the Catio finally, which is like a local little cat cafe here. Had dinner with a friend and just all the amazing love and support from my husband. And we have a senior kitty we've been kind of struggling with, but she seems to be doing better. So definitely focus in on what's going on in your life. If you can't remember what happened last month, that's okay. That happens to me sometimes. Maybe go back through your phone, look at the calendar, check out like photos, appointments, anything like that. It may help to kind of like jog your memory. And then be sure to fill out the things you would like to start, stop, and continue this month. These could be actual habits you want to start, stop, and continue, or maybe you want to focus on mindset, something you want to start saying to yourself more, stop saying to yourself so much, or continue encouraging yourself with. And again, you can be as creative or as simple as you like in these areas. You can doodle, you can use different colors, you can use stickers, whatever feels right for you. So I'll put on some music and then we'll come back together. All right, welcome back. I wanted to acknowledge just a few reflections that some folks shared. So I saw Revjoy Ellen shared that their favorite moment was a friend and then went to see Avatar 2 on the last day it was playing at the local theater. That's awesome, and also makes me realize that I might have missed it. So I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out a way to see it soon. And then Liz shared that they got sick last month, which forced them to rest and made them realize that as much as they are go, go, go all the time, rest really is important. And they're going to strive to keep resting now that they're back to full health. Always remember, rest is an action. I have to remind myself of that all the time. So thank you all so much for sharing. We are now going to segue into our March intentions on page 9. So just the next page over. So starting fresh and just thinking about how we want to grow or what our goals for this upcoming month might be, and just keep in mind that theme of gratitude. How might you invite yourself to lean into that this month? So our intentions are broken down into the following categories, but feel free to change some of them if they don't speak to you. In the journal is spiritual health, personal life, physical health, key relationships, money management, and professional goals. And as the top of this page says, setting intentions is not making a to-do list. It's asking something of yourself and then giving yourself the strength to do it. It's important to let go of the pressure of perfection and use the ideas that work for you. So with this in mind, we wanted to share some examples for inspiration of how you might use this page for yourself. So you can lean into the theme of gratitude as you set those intentions this month. You can focus on one area such as self-love or self-talk. You can use the name of song lyrics or a song or a quote that brings you inspiration. You can just write what you want to accomplish in each category. You can just try using stickers or pictures or images of some kind in each area. And you could also try writing down one thing you want to let go of in that area and one thing you want to start doing. So in the past, I have used a ton of different ideas in this area. It's probably my favorite page to get creative with in the journal. I've done quotes, I've done single words and colors and pictures with a theme and just overall intentions. And so these are a few examples of that. I'll be sure to sort of cycle through the different examples as you're working on yours. But I wanted to share a few more. So you can absolutely lean into using stickers. It looks like this person decided to sort of lean into the fact that St. Patrick's Day is happening this month. And then I also like this one from July where somebody started each area with I intend statements. This month, these are mine. And I decided to just use song lyrics for the different areas, and they're all John Mayer songs. I listened to an interview with him recently. I'm a huge John Mayer fan, and he was fresh on my mind, so that's what I decided to go with. So once you're done, please share in the chat what came up for you or what your goals are, and we'll see you in a few minutes. And again, I'll go back and forth through these slides while you're working. All right, welcome back again. I always love seeing what you all have to share in the chat. Saw lots of people that are loving this later time frame. Like most of us, I have a set of intentions every month and I don't always meet them. But the point of intentions isn't to conquer each box. It's to set the idea of what you think you want over the next 30 days and just notice how those desires evolve. Flexibility is everything, and it's part of what makes intentions so beautiful. To call out a few things from the chat, I saw that Katina said that they like to use the month's theme for this. So they're going to start each box with the sentence, be grateful for. And then there were several people saying that sometimes like key relationships versus personal life kind of feels like muddy. And that's okay. I know for me, sometimes they kind of become intertwined depending on what my personal goals are or what's going on for the current month. But I did see that Kimberly shared that they like to use personal life for their self-care goals and key relationships for activities they want to do with their family. And then Jenny said that they use personal life for what they want to do, like increase connections with themselves and others, and then use key relationships to know a few people that they would like to increase contact with during the month. So maybe one of those will be helpful for some of you to kind of make a distinction, or again, it's totally up for you and what works for you. So you can just make them one big box if that works best, or skip one of them if it doesn't speak to you. So now we will be moving into our trackers for March. So these are actually some of my favorite pages in the journal. When I was first starting out with Silk and Sonder, this is really the thing that like got me going. It kept me coming back month after month in the beginning. So tonight we're going to start with the mood tracker, which is on page 10. Utilizing the mood tracker can allow us to understand trends and how we feel so we can take notice and then begin making shifts. When combined with other trackers and journaling, our mood tracker can also help us notice habits or external forces that may be having a positive or negative impact on our emotional health. And from there, we can hopefully make changes to focus on the things that bring more positive days. So for this evening, we will share this feelings wheel. This is a great resource on identifying which moods you may want to track. Looking at the wheel, we have 6 main categories. There is fear, anger, sadness, surprise, joy, and love. So I'll bring this wheel back in a second, but first let's talk about how to set up your tracker traditionally. So you could pick one emotion from each section of that feelings chart if you wanted to. You can focus on 1 to 2 areas of the feeling chart and really dive deep into 1 or 2 emotion families. Or with our theme of gratitude this month, you can select emotions that resonate to that theme for you. And then to fill in the mood tracker, you can fill in every emotion that came up that day, which is how I used my tracker in the beginning, or just fill in what emotion was the strongest. And remember, this is all about what works for you. So our members use this page in a variety of ways. The canvas is yours to fill. So take these tips and tricks and run with them, or choose to do something totally different. So for example, I started using my mood tracker to focus on my anxiety levels about 2 years ago now. And it was crazy beneficial for me to notice what was working, what wasn't, and celebrate how far I've come. The words that I've used to track in the past are low, none, scattered, steady, heavy, and panic. But lately, very recently, I have noticed that my anxiety is becoming less frequent, and I'm better able to actually identify moods and emotions that were previously kind of shrouded in various levels of anxiety. So this month, I'm still tracking anxiety, but with fewer categories. And I'm also tracking some moods, and I'm excited to see how that works out. So the one on the left is my tracker from last month, and then the one on the right is the one that I am using for this month. But you could decide to repurpose this for however works best for you. So some of the ways that you might want to repurpose this is to change it to a daily affirmation tracker. You could use it to track anxiety like me, or depression, or something else you may struggle with, like a health condition. You could do on a scale of 1 to 6, certain feelings like angry or tired. And then these are a few other examples. So this person did it as a relaxation tracker with different levels of 1 through 6. Somebody turned it into like a Peloton tracker for working out. This person, sort of center with the flowers, decided to track moods, but they decided to track them with different flowers, which is really cute. And then the person on the far right decided to kind of turn it into a little piece of pie with the different emotion categories and track it that way. So do whatever works best for you. Once you've set up your mood tracker, please share in the chat where you're putting down or how you set yours up. As you're sharing, Jennifer and I will be adding the things to the screen in real time as a way to display your selections. So we'll see you in just a few minutes. right. Thank you so much for taking the time to complete your mood tracker. I love seeing the page light up in different ways that you're making this work for you. So we will now move on to our next page, which is the habit tracker. So using the habit tracker can help us start new habits, stop doing habits that don't serve us, and continue habits that bring value. So here are a few tips and tricks to consider for your habit tracker. You can use the theme of gratitude as you focus making selections this month. You can decide to sort of narrow in on one area or theme, like getting better sleep, grounded, calm, present, etc. If you tracked habits last month that worked for you, you can continue the same ones into this month. You can also find inspiration from your intentions that we set up earlier. And remember, you don't have to fill up every line of this wheel. You can just pick a few and leave the rest. Try to find some balance between habits you know that you'll probably be able to achieve and maybe some ones that are going to be a little trickier. So here are a few ways that people have set up their habit tracker. So you can see you can kind of be as creative as you want with these and get really detailed and make like a beautiful mandala like Nona did on the left. Or you can do a lot more simple with little symbols and colors. That's actually how I do mine, and I'll show you mine in just a moment. You can decide to change this up to something specific, like the person did with the step tracker. I think that actually turned out pretty cool with the little like stars and lines there. And again, you don't have to fill up every single line. So you can see the person on the far right is just tracking those 3 habits, and they kind of colored in the other grid so that it looks a little bit more purposeful. And then the person who used the little symbols and colors is actually tying it back to the intentions that they set this month, which is pretty cool. But seeing what works and what doesn't sort of helps us figure out what is something that is going to be a continuous habit we need to focus on, or what is something maybe we need to say goodbye to. So you can see this is my February tracker on the right with the red, and then my March tracker is on the left. And you can see in February that there's a lot of empty spaces, and I'm not surprised by that. This time of year with the crazy weather and the lack of sunlight is really hard for me. And reflecting on last month helped me make my selections of what to track this month. So like you can see last month I had bed by 10:30. Ha ha ha, what a great and lofty goal for me. It did not go well, as you can see from my tracker, and that's okay. Instead of beating myself up about it, what I found is that tracking that isn't beneficial. It's just not something that I'm able to fit into my life right now, and that's okay. Something that did go really well was flossing. That was a brand new habit for me last month, and I was really consistent with it. So I'm excited to continue that into next month. There is a weekly section in your journal, if you're not aware, and it does have a habit tracker in it as well. And so a question we'll get a lot is, well, what's a monthly habit versus a weekly habit, and how does this work? So for me, a monthly habit should maybe be something you want to try to track each day. And then a weekly, maybe you only want to track a few times a week or only track a single week in the month. So kind of take that what you will. I do my best when I make things simple and just use like a symbol and a single color to track each habit. So I'm continuing that this month. Previously, I tried making an awesome little design on my tracker and then coloring it in with different colors. But I got to where I wouldn't track if I didn't have my exact correct color pen or what I wanted to do. So I've transitioned back to just single pen, symbols, and doing it that way. So my habits this month, as you can see, are water, mindfulness or movement, no eating out, mirror talk, which is something my therapists have me doing for like self-love and body image stuff, fruits and veggies, flossing still, and 1 second every day, which is a free app that I just take a 1-second video every day. And then at the end of the month, it lets me like mash it into other little videos and stuff. So if you're not sure what to track, we do have some inspiration here for you. And again, Jennifer and I, as you're sharing in the chat what you're tracking this month, will be putting little stars around the different categories or popping the words up on the screen as a fun way to share with everybody what you're deciding to track this month. So we will give you some time to dig into this, and then we'll come back together again. All right. Thanks so much for completing your habit tracker. It's really neat to see some of you deciding to use some of these for your journal this month and also seeing all the little additions that were made. So thank you so much for sharing and taking this time for yourself. So it was great to see everyone's reflections, intentions, and tracker set up for March. I do have one more thing to share with you before we go. So there is a page, actually there's 2 pages technically in the journal. But this one is the sleep tracker, which is on page 12. And then there's also an expense tracker, which I'm flipping, y'all. Give me a second. Then here's some more. Jennifer may be able to help me out and tell me what page it's on. But both of those get repurposed quite a bit. I personally have never used the sleep tracker or the expense tracker successfully for an entire month. I have tried to use the sleep tracker as a sleep tracker before, and I don't know, I haven't been able to quite configure it the way that it works for me. And so a lot of people I know will change this. So you can see somebody changed it to a daily connections. There's a book tracker. There's a little like seasonal bingo. So you could do like a seasonal bucket list or seasonal bingo, a reading tracker, card pull, reflections, playlist ideas, daily wins, a workout tracker, a step tracker, affirmations, daily rituals, movies or TV shows tracker, prayer requests, cleaning log, learning log, whatever works for you. And then for those who have not been able to kind of dive all the way into the journal just yet this month, we have a few different places for leaning into gratitude. So we obviously have our journal prompts and things. One of the journal prompts in here this month is the Noticing Nature game, which is always one of my favorites. It's kind of cool. But we also have a gratitude jar. And then on page 21, there is a gratitude gumball machine. So the gratitude jar, I think we'll probably have a social on that this month. You could decide to write something in there every day, kind of like the gratitude tracker from the previous month, or you could decide to do it all at one time or focus in on something specific. And then the gumball machine on page 21 allows you to kind of track specific things that you're grateful for. And you could do that each day, each week as a reflection, whatever works for you. So just wanted to call out a few things for you in the journal there. So this actually is going to bring our time together to a close. I know it goes by so fast every time. But we'd love to see how you set up this evening. So please do share with us in Sonder Club how you set up your planner, or you can post on Instagram or TikTok and tag at Silk and Sonder, or use the hashtag Sonder Social. Jennifer's going to pop in. We are still doing the Refer a Friend program. So if there's anybody that you know that you think would enjoy Silk and Sonder, if you refer them and they sign up, you get some money off and they get some money off. And again, we are doing that gratitude challenge as well. So you could feel free to invite any friends that you think might be interested via that way too. And then Jennifer's also going to pop in the link to the YouTube page. Very important that you save that link, bookmark it, take a picture of it, whatever you need to do, because you cannot search for it. You do have to actually have the link. But the recordings of all of our socials will be up there after a few days. So if you ever missed one and can't attend, or had to come late, or had to leave early, you can always catch back up on those recordings there. And finally, these are my playlists. So the one on the left-hand side is the one that we were listening to this evening. You can use the QR code there and it should pull it up for you in Spotify, or you can take down a little picture of the actual link there if you prefer. All my playlists are always public as well, so you can usually search Sonder Social or Silk and Sonder, and you probably will be able to find at least my playlist and maybe some of the other facilitators as well. But over time, I do sort of cycle out my playlist. So I'll have like the March one up for a few months, but then eventually I will get rid of it. But any of the songs that are in there will get dumped into my Sonder Social master list. So if you want to follow that master list so that you don't ever lose any of the songs or anything, you're welcome to. And I think somebody, it might have been my friend Katie, pointed out that I have 15 hours of music on the master list so far. So you could literally listen to it for a few minutes each day and get a different song for half of the month. So it has been my absolute pleasure setting up March with you all for this evening. I hope that you're feeling refreshed and excited about our theme of gratitude. And until next time, I hope you all stay safe, and we'll see you in Sonder Club.